Yes, Jamila. Oh my God, this is gonna be so good. You better take me back to the Dominican Republic, girl. Hey you all, welcome to the Mindful Plate. It's Shelly Wellness here. And today we are going to be making rice and peas Dominican style. Arroz con habichuelas. When I was in college, I had an opportunity to study abroad in Dominican Republic and I fell in love with this staple. Now, I grew up on rice and peas Jamaican style, but what I love about the Dominican flavor is that not only does it still use the coconut milk, but it also adds tomato sauce and requeijao, which is kind of like a green seasoning. So today we are going to be making this rice and peas. However, since college, I have not been able to eat it because I've gone plant-based and I've been needing a vegan recipe. So to the rescue comes my friend Jamila of Earth Candy Arts, who just published her cookbook, Earth Candy, and in it, she has a recipe for Dominican style rice and peas. So we're gonna be talking with Jamila and making her recipe. Let's get into it. Hey, I'm your host, Shelly Wellness. I'm on this journey to elevate our consciousness around food, and I invite you to join me. On this channel, I'll share recipes created with mindfulness, rooted in wellness. Welcome to the Mindful Plate. So for our rice and peas, we are going to start with a requeijao. Requeijao is kind of like a green seasoning, or if you're Haitian, épices, but it's a beautiful blend of herbs that's going to provide seasoning to this base of the rice. So to make it, we're going to be using cilantro, scallion, oregano, garlic, hot pepper, and some apple cider vinegar and salt. So a lot of green seasoning, requeijao, épices, uses pepper. If you don't like heat, go ahead and leave it out, but I promise you, you're gonna be missing some good flavor. And so you're just gonna blend this to a nice paste. It may not come all the way smooth. If you have some chunks, not a problem, because remember this is our seasoning, but you want it to be fine enough so that you're not biting into chunks. For those of you who are new to this and you've never heard of this, think about it like a Caribbean pesto. This is the staple for most Caribbean dishes and it adds so much good flavor. Now, you could make this fresh every time, but as a time saver, make a big batch, use what you need in the moment, and then take the rest and store it in the refrigerator. This can last in your fridge definitely for anywhere from 2 weeks to a month, depending on how frequently you cook, but that pepper adds that preservative, so you don't have to worry about anything going bad. So to our pot, we're gonna add this onion. Our requeijao is made, but of course, as you know, a lot of these dishes start with onions because they add so much flavor. So we're gonna be adding some red onion to our pot, and we're gonna let that saute, and then we'll go to the next step. So y'all, her recipe says to do the onions and slice them. And as I'm cooking, I'm realizing that these slices will just not cook down into anything other than slices, and we'll be having rice and sliced onions. So, you know, when you have a recipe, it's always dope to use it as a guide, but you know how I feel about recipes. I love the ideas of them, but ultimately I get in the kitchen and I do my own thing. So I have sauteed these onions down, and what I'm gonna do is just mince them fine, so that they blend in well with my rice. So at this stage, our onions are done. This is more like perfect. They're nice and soft. We're gonna add in our beans. Now in the Earth Candy recipe, she recommends using gandules, which are pigeon peas. I personally don't love pigeon peas, but I do love a good bean. So I'm gonna be adding red beans into here. And she also recommends adding in the canned liquid. I'm also not a fan of that. So I just added a little bit of water to the beans, and I'm gonna add that to the pot. After you add your beans, you're gonna add your requeijao. You're gonna add your tomato sauce, and then you're gonna add your coconut milk. And you're gonna bring all of that to a boil before you add your rice. You know, one of my fears about cooking rice is I can never judge how much liquid I need. So I'm very curious to see if I do this right. Ooh, this almost looks like a soup. So now we're gonna add in our rice. Now that it's boiling. And we're using parboiled rice. Now I have never cooked with parboiled rice before. This is my first time, but I'm assuming it's gonna make this cooking process go a lot quicker. All right, y'all, the rice is cooking, but I have a few questions. I'm not sure if I did this right. I'm gonna talk to Jamila and find out what brands does she recommend and see if we're on the right track. Let's go meet Jamila. Jamila, thank you so much for coming on and talking with us. And
Thank
you know,
for having
we were in
me.
the kitchen. Yes.
Yay!
We were in the kitchen making your rice and peas, or your arroz con gandules, arroz con habichuelas.
Yes. Okay.
And I'm so excited that it's Dominican style because even though I'm Jamaican, that is my favorite rice and peas. I think Dominicans,
All right.
yes.
Okay.
I think Dominicans and Haitians just have a way of flavoring it where it's like, mwah.
Mm-hmm. What a compliment. Thank you very much.
So when I was making your rice and peas, I wasn't sure which brand to buy. And I wanted to know, you use canned coconut milk, you use canned tomato sauce, and I'm curious about what brands do you think work best in this version of rice and peas?
In a word, Goya. I use all Goya products to make it. Goya is tried and true, and that's what my mother used. So naturally, I followed suit.
That makes sense. That's perfect because I thought to myself, Goya is a Latin brand. This is Dominican rice. Let me use Goya. Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
So then my next question is, when I added everything into the pot, Jamila, I was a little worried because I wasn't sure if I was doing it right. It was a little thick and I'm used to things being more watery. So is it supposed to be like that? Walk us through the process more.
So yes, it is supposed to be like that. The thick, gooey consistency that you see in the pot before adding the rice is the tomato sauce as well as the recao. Now the recao is the cilantro paste, if you will, that you blend up, whiz in the blender before you add into there. That's what makes Dominican rice and peas the Dominican rice and peas. It consists of, as you know, the cilantro, the garlic, the scallion, the oregano, all the goodness. So that's what you see. So do not be afraid at that part, and just know that once you add your rice and you stir it and cover it, it's going to turn out well.
Oh, girl, that's music to my ears. That's fantastic.
Okay.
Because we're going to go back and we're going to try this, and I want to make sure that, you know, I did it right. So that's perfect. Jamila, thank you so much. We're about to get back into the hot rice.
All right.
I'm so excited about eating this. And yeah, we're going to pop back in, and we appreciate you for taking your time and joining us and guiding us along the way.
All right. Thank you for having me, Shelly. I appreciate it.
All right, you all. So our rice is ready. I'm just going to take a fork. Wow. I was a little worried. I mean, it's a little wetter, but it's also going to dry out over time because once you take it off the heat, oh, this is going to be so flavorful. Wow. I was a little worried at first. I was like, wait a minute, this looks like soup. What's happening? But I see what's happening. This is going to be so flavorful. Ooh, and you know what? I can't wait. I love the bottom part of the pot when it's all burnt and flavorful and crispy. Ooh, I hope I have a burnt pot. I cannot wait. Let me try it first and see what's going on. Wow. Yes, Jamila. Yes. You better take me back to the Dominican Republic, girl. Oh my goodness. Yes, ma'am. Listen, I'm gonna add some olives in here because I really love that briny taste. A few more capers. Honey, all the capers. What am I kidding? Oh, yes. Mix that on in. Ooh, it's starting to crisp around the edges. I'm so excited about this pot. Oh my God, this is gonna be so good. Honey, this is a meal by itself. You could just eat this with some salad and some avocado. The flavors in here. Shout out to Caribbean people. We know what to do when it comes to food. I love this. So remember I was talking about that burnt part of the pot, y'all? Oh, it's my favorite. Notice, it's like a perfect crust. This is what you want. You don't want it burnt because then it won't taste good, but this is what you want. This little bit of just crustiness. And what happens is all that seasoning that we made, it's crunchy, it's well seasoned. This is my favorite part. I can sit and eat this all day, but we don't have time to eat this all day. Let's get to the rice. All right, y'all, I've been waiting to dive in. Let's try it. Wow. Wow. See, Jamila, this is it. This is taking me all the way back to DR. Santiago, Santo Domingo, Sosua, Samaná, Montecristi. Oh my goodness, this is so good. Listen, y'all, get the book, Earth Candy. Beautiful recipes inside, just like this one. And she's not just taking me to the Dominican Republic, y'all. She has Ethiopian recipes in here. She has some Jamaican recipes in here. She has some Black Southern recipes in here. She just takes you all around the African diaspora and feeds you. And it, as always, if you want more inspiration and more recipes just like this that I make sure you subscribe to the channel, The Mindful Plate. And I'm in your inbox every Tuesday if you subscribe to our newsletter. Link is in the description below for my newsletter and Jamila's book. Take care, y'all.